the most influential session I had with my therapist really early on was actually around a dream. And I'll share actually what my experience was so in the dream, I was in Egypt, and I saw a bunch of slaves, and they were slaving away, and people were taking pictures of them as if like they were tourists there. And I'm just walking by, and I have my laptop, and all of a sudden there's this master with a whip on top of the slaves, and he looks at me, and I get scared, so I run away with my laptop. And I'm running, and all of a sudden my laptop falls out of my hands. And that just sounds like, how in the world does that even mean anything, right? So when you're talking to your friends and they say, yeah, I had this weird dream, and that doesn't really mean anything, that there's actually a lot of symbolism behind that dream. So I really learned about how much I actually am a slave master to myself, and that I actually... so that was earlier on in my therapy. It was really recognizing that I shame myself and I whip myself, that different aspects of dreams are actually different parts of yourself. So the master over the slaves was a part of myself, and then the actual slaves was a part of myself. And then the observing ego, which is also part of me, is watching this happen and concerned and not knowing what to do about it, but just an onlooker. And then I am running away because I'm scared. And then I have the laptop represents my life. So laptops in dreams can mean a lot of different, there are a couple different things, but for me it meant life, and my story. And when it fell and it broke, I felt like my life was I was not in control of my life. And so that just really, when my therapist helped me recognize that, I was just like, I mean, to this day, this was years ago, so that I can remember it vividly, that dream, and I can remember what it meant, and that it left me an impact that I actually didn't even realize how hard I was on myself. And that actually has now spurred on my work as a therapist, is helping people get more connected to their critic, to that slave master, that part of them that really beats them up when you make mistakes, when you fail. And so that's why dream work is so important.
Freud was one of the first to talk about interpreting dreams as the access to the unconscious. But one way that psychoanalytics gets things wrong is that I'm kind of asserting my ego onto Shannon's dream. So I might see Egypt and think of other associations about, beauty or, ancient times or something. And for her, this is that slave driver theme, right? And so it's totally accurate, because what's happening is anything that's showing up in the dream is actually an aspect of ourselves. So every symbol, every feeling, every association. And what's really fascinating is that idea that each symbol is kind of showing up in an environment that is actually under the guise of an ego death, because our prefrontal cortex is shut down and we don't have that adrenaline in our body that's fight or flight. So it's the purest form of our unconscious, because we don't have that anxiety in our system and we don't have our ego judging.